Tinubu told to accept IPOB's new offer. Welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news update, please click on the notification bell. Against the backdrop of the prolonged restiveness in the southeast geopolitical zone of a country that has claimed several lives and led to the destruction of properties worth billions of naira, stakeholders from the region have urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to embrace the call for dialogue by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as a step towards genuine reconciliation. The stakeholders noted that the crisis in the southeast could only be addressed through a political solution, adding that a genuine dialogue between the Tinubu-led federal government and the IPOB would amount to victory for both parties. Recall that last Saturday, the IPOB initiated a bold move aimed at ending several years of agitation in the region when it declared its readiness to resume talks with the federal government on referendum date for Biafra. It had hinted that it was open for peaceful negotiation and dialogue for a peaceful exit of Biafra from Nigeria through a United Nations supervised referendum. This was not the first time the group that was formed in 2012 to restore the different Republic of Biafra was asking for a referendum. It had made similar requests during the administrations of former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, but to no avail. A statement signed by the group's media and publicity secretary, Ima Powerful, has stated the earlier federal government scheduled a date for a referendum for Biafrans to decide whether they are willing to continue to stay in Nigeria, the better for everyone. Powerful had observed the peaceful approach of the IPOB to the self-determination struggle since its formation, but regretted that over 5,000 lives have been lost, with property worth $1 billion destroyed in an attempt by the country's security forces to quench the struggle. Aside from the figures quoted by the IPOB as losses accounted in property and human lives to the struggle for Biafra, a recent investigation conducted by The Guardian on the Monday sit-at-home in the region, ordered and enforced by a faction of the group, indicated that the Southeast has lost over 7.6 trillion naira in investment and productivity. The report, published in the July 24, 2023 edition of a newspaper, which covered a 2-year period the Monday sit-at-home had lasted, further noted that several job losses resulting from low productivity and insecurity has led to migration of businesses out of the region to other parts of the country with more stable environment and disruptions in academic activities, whereby some children had been denied opportunities to write examination, among others. The Monday sit-at-home, which governors of the 5 states that make up the region are currently seeking to stop, was imposed on the people to force the federal government to release the IPOB leader, Kanu, who has been held in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, for over 2 years. Kanu has been detained since June 2021 after he was arrested in Kenya and forced back to Nigeria. Several intervention efforts made to effect his release have not yielded positive results. The Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndibo, has consistently asked the federal government to apply political solutions in resolving the matter, insisting that it was chiefly responsible for the restiveness in the southeast. While IPOB's call for dialogue came ahead of a December 15, 2023 date the Supreme Court has fixed to deliver judgment on the case regarding the continued detention of Kanu, Powerful stated that IPOB was focused and stands for dialogue, stressing the cardinal rule under which the IPOB was formed is to lead the way to peaceful separation of Biafra from Nigeria. He added that IPOB's call for dialogue on a referendum had nothing to do with getting Kanu out of custody, but was part of the peaceful means to achieve Biafra. The events from 1948 to 2023 have shown that it is practically impossible for Biafra and Nigeria to coexist as one nation. IPOB has been calling on the Nigeria state for discussions on a peaceful referendum date, but the Nigeria state always returns a peaceful call with violence suppression. We have always maintained that self-determination is an inalienable right according to the United Nations laws. We remain committed to pursuing our self-determination peacefully according to international laws and regulations. He added that every effort to bend the organization will continue to fail. Reacting to the call by the group, the President International Solidarity for Peace and Human Rights Initiative INSPHRI, Comrade Asmund Ugu stated, and I quote, "The offer by the IPOB is one thing, and another thing is whether the federal government is interested in that. We have to understand that IPOB is a prescribed group by the Nigerian government and as such regarded as a terrorist organization. So before entering into dialogue with the federal government, it has to be first all the prescribed. Having said this, I want to add that the statement may not be employed to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I think it is a statement backed up with every sense of sincerity of purpose. If the government can accept that, then it is a victory for both parties. If the federal government can accept dialogue on the issue of referendum, it then means that they have accepted referendum and the next issue is the modalities for the referendum. My advice to the federal government is that they should forget the issue of pride and take the option that is noble in this circumstance and follow it. And that noble course is the option of the dialogue. That is the best way to resolve the impasse between the federal government and Biafra agitators." Emeritus President General of Aka Ikenga, Chief Gozi Uwazurike, stated that the organization had always demanded a referendum, adding, however, the late President Umaru Yar'Adua and Dr. Goodluck Jonathan handled the demand with maturity while the Muhammadu Buhari administration approached with fiendish disposition. Today, the Tinubu administration has not openly declared its disposition. In the world of diplomacy, adjustments are shift are normal. IPOB has shown its willingness to adjust, but the federal government has not responded. The federal government has to respond with its disposition so that the process of genuinely reconciled can proceed.